Hi, welcome to the Israel First television program with myself, Martin Blackham, and with my wife, Nathalie Blackham. Great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. The program that looks at Israel, we look at the news, we look at a bit behind the news, we look at the personal issues, in other words, how the news affects citizens of Israel, and we look at a Hebraic understanding and the Jewish roots, and of course we're doing the Hebrew letters, and Natalie will be doing another Hebrew letter in the program. And
from the alphabet.
Yes. So as we come into the studio, the war is temporarily on hold, and we're in the middle of a ceasefire, Natalie. Now, Israel's bomb shelter crisis. You might not know there's a bomb shelter crisis, but there is apparently, according to the Israel news media. Now, in Israel, every new house has to have a bomb shelter or mamad installed in the property from its construction. However, of course, most of or a lot of the houses were built before this requirement came into place and don't have one. There are public bomb shelters, and there are underground car parks which are used, etc. However, there is a bomb shelter crisis. According to the January 2026 State Controller's report for Israel, approximately 3.2 million Israelis, or a third of the population, lack standard protection, that is, safe rooms, public shelters, or the equivalent. In 2025, are our public safe rooms and shelters ready for the latest attacks from Iran and Lebanon? The IDF Home Front Command announced an update to its app. That's another thing we have. We have an app which you can install on your phone and gives you the latest situation regarding missile fire. And they're changing it, Natalie, to have different colours, like a traffic light. And it's going to have red, yellow and green. Green being, of course, all clear. Red is the emergency. And, of course, the orange, the middle, is to go to the shelter. Now, it's a welcome improvement, but it can only really help people, Israeli news media say, if they have somewhere to go to. In Safed, for example,
Or Tzfat.
Which Nathalie and I have been visiting for your good selves for the program. According to Shahana Rayberg Pakim, half the city has no access to a shelter. It's on a mountain, but it is vulnerable. In spite of the fact that tens of thousands of rockets and missiles have been fired in northern Israel since the conflict began, and apparently, and I didn't know this, Safed is a recurring target. The lack of protection, the lack of protective infrastructure endangers lives, said State Controller Matane Engelman, who gets mentioned in the program quite regularly. He's somebody we talk about because he's investigating different aspects of Israeli life for the citizens. 1/3 of Israelis' residents are not adequately protected against missile attacks, including more than 42,000 residents living in communities located within 9 kilometers of the border with Syria and Lebanon. I think the reality is that it's affecting the community in the north the most because they are having almost, like Gaza had, or the Gaza border strip, Israeli towns were having almost continuous rocket fire from Gaza, and they're having the same from Lebanon. A personal wake-up call in Karne Shomron. The young Israel of Neve Aliza in Karne Shomron learned the hard way. Our son's bar mitzvah on Shabbat Sakor was interrupted by sirens. Although the synagogue sits adjacent to a school bus stop and across the street from a popular playground and separate community nature park, it was inexplicably built without a shelter, which is another issue. A lot of the schools don't have adequate shelter, and the school children can't go to school, not because the school isn't open, but because they don't have an adequate bomb shelter and aren't able to protect the children. Members were told from the synagogues to run home or to the nearest public shelter, but those can be a long way away. In this case, they were 2 blocks away. Children waiting for buses and mothers with little ones at the park were left exposed. During the war, the Home Front Command forced the synagogue to lock its doors for 5.5 weeks. And when asked about the synagogue and the bomb shelter, the Karnei Shomron mayor said, "We're overwhelmed." In other words, a lot of towns do not have the finances to put in a bomb shelter, although there has been a lot of work with different aid organizations in installing bomb shelters throughout the country, but the north is really desperate.
And there is some Christian organization who's helping, yes, because they know how it is. And interesting enough, yesterday when we were walking in the evening, we saw that there is a new one put also for our children. The children of the village here next to the soccer park, because again, it's important. They are playing, they are far away from the house, and suddenly there is an alarm. So the parents are happy to know that there is a shelter, what they call here mamad, for the kids to be able to run to.
Yeah, they're really like concrete blocks with a door, and they also have some protection with there was gas or something. So these things are being installed throughout the country, but the north, if you're watching from the people who install them, then the north are calling out to you. Now, Jerusalem Post has reported that Microsoft has introduced Project Solara. It's an operating system, for those of you who are not technically in the know, for wearable AI devices. You say, Martin, what's a wearable AI device? Well, your phone is kind of wearable in a way, it's in your pocket, but certainly a smartwatch or those kind of things are wearable devices. But Project Solar is raising massive surveillance and privacy concerns because of its core hardware designed to rely on ambient continuous monitoring of employees. It's basically a surveillance of employees in physical workspaces. It's a wearable smart badge, the kind that if you go into an office to visit someone, and at reception, at security, they give you a ID badge to go and visit that factory or that office. If you're a visitor, they are smart badges, and they are replacing traditional corporate ID lanyards. This badge is reimagining the corporate access badge. It's an always-on AI companion. It includes a touch screen, a fingerprint sensor, for those of you who are concerned about surveillance. It even takes your fingerprints. It's got a microphone, a speaker, and a camera on this badge. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G, satellite connectivity, and you can wear it, for example, if you're a nurse in a hospital, if you are a retail associate or working in an office. You can see on your badge if you're needed somewhere, so they can summons you, Nathalie, to somebody's bed with your ID badge, and it's always on, and you can ask it questions. I suppose that's a positive thing, but it is a nightmare for those of us who like freedom of movement, freedom of expression, freedom to live.
Yeah, and again, I know patients can ask the person, and so you don't need to ring the bell or all of that, but it's scary. It's scary.
By the way, I don't know if they can even turn it off if they need to go to the bathroom. Now, hundreds of Microsoft employees are already using this device, so maybe it may come and tell us what it's like. The company has announced, Microsoft's announced, a pilot program with AccuWeather, for those of you who use AccuWeather, Best Buy, that's in the United States, Levi's, and Target. While critics call it a surveillance nightmare, it's constant data collection. The device inherently collects the employee's face, voice, real-time gestures, conversations. In other words, everything you say is recorded. And not just that, it records your behavior. So if you go to work and you're not feeling in a good mood, it records that. It also they say that it's also recording the face and voice, and not just that, but also people around you. So even if you haven't got a smart badge, no problem, the smart badge from other people can record you. So for example, if you visit the Microsoft offices at the moment, you will be recorded by their smart badges, and it records gestures and behavior, so no misbehaving in the canteen.
This is all data. They want the data to be more precise
Right.
of human condition.
Yes.
But if you listen to the Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum, this is all because they don't want us.
It's all Big Brother surveillance society. And talking about Big Brother in a surveillance society, AI is causing job losses. We've talked about this before, but it's continuing to do so. Israeli website builder Wix. Some of you may use Wix if you have a website or have heard of the Wix websites, are cutting 20%. In my opinion, that's a huge figure of global staff. Wix is an Israeli company, by the way. Critics warn of seismic wave of job losses in Israel due to AI automation. Wix, Rapid and Amdocs became the latest Israeli tech firms to join a wave of layoffs to tighten operations, cut costs and reorganize their staff in the pressure, and everybody's under pressure, to adapt to the new AI era. Wix, of course, are famous for their do-it-yourself website, and even our website was a do-it-yourself Wix website at the beginning. It's now done professionally, not any discredit to Wix, but we had someone come in to revamp our website, which is www.israelfirst.org. You can go and have a look at it. That's been completely revamped and was professionally done for us. But in the beginning, Nathalie, it was done by Wix. And the shekel, of course, has been causing a problem because it's been very strong. It's clear to us, this is CEO of Wix, Avishai Abrahami said, it's clear to us that in the new era, companies need to make this change in order to lead and compete or risk falling behind. We need to become faster, leaner and flatter organization. We're doing this company-wide change decision to enable us to increase the AI involvement of Wix. So it is something we'll keep telling you about because it's something very, very important, the AI revolution, I would call it, in the world. Many people are saying, is AI connected to the end times? And I would say very much. Now, I'm functioning, but I have no energy for anything. Many of us keep going, but are losing energy. This is a phenomenon, Nathalie, threatening Israelis. For more than 2 years, or more than many years, really, they've been living between sirens and continuous uncertainty beneath the surface. The phenomenon.
Yeah, going to almost 3 years. So
Right. The phenomenon of resilience fatigue is spreading. That's resilience fatigue, because everybody's saying, well, with all the things happening in Israel, you need resilience. Well, if you have resilience continually, you get resilience fatigue. We have the resilience to stand in Israel, and the people of Israel talk about resilience, and it's been an integral part of Israeli society. But are we able to keep it up, Nathalie? Are we able to keep resilient long term? There's been prolonged military reserve duty, which is continuing even though we are in a ceasefire. Economic uncertainty, which is continuing even though we're in a ceasefire. That businesses are not sure of the future, like Wix. We had the hostage crisis, and we're very grateful that's finished. And now with the campaign against Iran. So will human beings be able to keep being resilient? And we're not built, Nathalie, for long-term resilience. It's really like the body's in an emergency state.
Yeah, when you say that, you see, I see so many, like YouTube or on Instagram, so many things showing how to take the stress away. And I mean, they're finding a lot of things that we didn't know before, but is so many are related to stress, to people who need to find how to make the vagus nerve working, because it's the one who is like
paralyzed.
parasympathetic. So it's like the one who make you calm down, and the other one is the one who make you like go when you have an alarm. Suddenly you have cortisol coming into your body, and so it's like you have to change your way of thinking, and being under stress, as we were saying all the time, is not good for your body, and we are not made for that. So your body can't repair itself, can't sleep properly, and all these things is, you know, coming one after the other. So there is a lot of people who are finding a lot of ways, new ways
to better cope.
To be able to cope. And some is nature, and, you know, different
animals,
things.
Being with one of the stories, which I might not have time to do, is about the use of farm animals to relieve stress. Now,
maybe next week.
Nathalie, we know that you are going through the Hebrew letters.
Yes.
And you've got another one to share with us today.
Yes, and now we're on the 16th letter. There is 22 letters, and in the Aleph Bet, we call it the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. And these letters, and I say so often, is like block of creating things. And they've done also some science research, and they can see that the words, we know our words are powerful, and words are changing things, and the Hebrew letters is even more. And we're saying, if you remember, like from Genesis 1 to Genesis 11, it was only one language. Then we had more languages that God created, funny enough, because He's so good. He's always trying to make, even if we are not good, He's trying to help us in the midst of all the things. Anyway, so today we are looking at the 16th letter, and the letter is Ayin, which means so I in Hebrew. And you know, they have also some letters like they don't call it primitive letters. I can't remember the name now, but it's like a I, because the letter is like kind of a Y, okay, but the letter in can't remember how we say it, is a I, which is interesting also because Mayan, you know the name Mayan for a girl, is also like a spring water here. And Mayan is like you have hidden water in the deep of the earth and is coming out. And so it comes from that, like our eye is inside of us and is going to bring the universe who is around us. So when you think how we can see, this is a beautiful thing. And people who are blind, they are missing a lot of the world, missing a lot of the beauty of looking at things. So we know, and again, when we should be all the time thankful, and when we get up in the morning and we open our eyes and we can see the world, this is something beautiful. Now, the world is not always nice, but God is making it beautiful. Satan is not making it beautiful. And it will stop one day. And we always speak about the Geula, the redemption, and it will come, and it will be like in Gan Eden, like in the garden, and where Adam and Eve were before the fall, before sins came. And God is going to restore that, and we can't wait for that. So the number is, because every letter has a number, and the number is 70, which is very important, because 70, we're going to look at it, is a big thing. And this letter doesn't have a sound, okay? Like mem is a m, but like ayin, you don't hear it, and but it's very important. And so, for example, Shema Israel, when the Jewish people are saying, and funny enough, Jesus said to us, what is very important to say is the prayer of the Shema. Shema, Shema, at the end there is a ayin, you don't hear it, but it's there. And why is it there? It's for us to listen that God is one and that we need to hear him. And hearing him is also, okay, observe, like you have to listen to him, you have to look at him, you need to focus on him, okay? Very important. Now, something else. Yes, our eyes can be used the right way and our eyes can be used the wrong way. Like you can see, the internet can be used for connecting people, but unfortunately the internet is used also for a lot of porn, and it's very, very sad to see that. And people are hooked on these things. And so God is giving us a choice. We have choice to make every day in our lives. And you have to make the choice. No, I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to use my eyes for good things. I'm going to use it for learning. I'm going to use it to see the beauty of God. And you make the choice every day. Now, there is a beautiful passage in Proverbs who are saying, death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither the eyes of men. So you, all the time, and you see, we are on earth to make choices. And it's not, there is pressure, but the thing is, we can have a reward when we make the right things. And like right now, the world is very hard. God knows all these things. He sees all the time what's happening all around the world. And he knows that we're in the pangs of redemption. He knows that there is pressure on us. And like, think about the pressure on the children compared to us when we were young. We didn't have all these things. We had like free summer, I would say, like happy summers. But now there is this screen all the time, the phone all the time, and they have to make the choice. And everybody has to make a choice. Now, because of that, the reward will be higher for the generation of the redemption, because the pressure is so hard. So God knows about that. And I think it's very important to know that there is reward. Every time that we do something good, there is a reward. Every time that we choose to do something wrong is like a point down, and you have to elevate yourself again. So, but God gave us the power, okay? He gave us the power with Yeshua, and we can always ask him, save me of my misbehaving. I'm stuck, and help me. And there is people also around you who can help you. We can have mercy with each other. Okay, very important. Now, there is a beautiful thing, because also the word of God is saying he's a light to our eyes, he's a light to our path. So again, when you dig into the Torah, when you dig in the word of God, and again, it's because of that, when you see the Hebrew is so beautiful, is like, is giving you light, is giving you power, is giving you delight. There is a lot of beautiful passage. Also, I think it's Mishle in Proverbs, where he said that my preoccupation, and David said that also in the Psalm 119, my preoccupation is to dig into your word. And so you see, you focus on something good and not porn, if we go back onto that. And that's it. When we speak about the number 70, I wanted to tell you about that because it's just amazing. Oh, and let me read it in the book, because it's said very nicely. And I won't remember everything just speaking. So it's like God, who has 70 names. Listen to that, because it's like amazing. Gave the Torah, his word, which has 70 names. He gave it to Israel, which has 70 names, because there were 70 people when they came from Egypt, okay? When they went down to Egypt with Jacob. And he was chosen for among 70 nations to celebrate the 70 holy days. Amazing. Like, the Jewish people have 70 days okay? 52 Shabbat and the 18 festival. The Torah was transmitted to 70 elders, and there are 70 facets of the Torah, which was translated into 70 languages to make it understandable to the 70 nations. And in the holy city of Jerusalem, which had 70 names, and we have a beautiful things at home done with the 70 names of Jerusalem, they built the temple who had 70. There on the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, there is 70 sacrifices offered for the sake of the 70 nations. The Jewish people were offering sacrifices for the 70 nations of the world, who has 70 representatives like heavenly angels. Israel is a blessing to the nations and intercede for the nations on every Feast of Tabernacle. The number 70 is critical. After the flood, 70 nations descended from Noah. 70 languages emerged after the building of the Tower of Babel. And remember, it's God who gave the languages, okay? So it was, again, a gift from him. And the Jewish nations began with the 70 people who came from Jacob to Egypt that we're speaking, which is in Exodus 1:5. And the last thing, which is very interesting, one thing before, there was 70 years or so for the exile of Babylon, exactly, Jeremiah was speaking about that. And the last thing is really connected with us, is like there is 70 birth pangs for the coming of the Messiah. Isn't it amazing?
Wow. And we thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great to be with you. If you would like further information about the 70 nation and the 70 and the Hebrew letters, then don't forget Nathalie's book, The Beauty of the Hebrew Language. There's information on the website how you can get that. And you can go to Amazon and there's a version that you can use on your computer. We also want to give a special thanks today to those who are supporting us financially. Thank you so much for making this program possible. If you're not, please consider that, because you are helping to get this information to the world, across the world, and making a difference in people's lives. The website is www.israelfirst.org, and there's a donate page there, as well as the news. You can sign up for a newsletter, all entirely free, and you can also see daily news from Israel. And don't forget, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.